If you have ever tried to check the weather of a day or weather forecast of a day, you must have come across something like this. So what exactly is this? Well, if you have a close and careful look, this tells you about a lot of factors that influence weather. So in this image you see in bold 20 degree is written. So it actually tells you about the temperature of the day or the time during which this snapshot was taken. It also tells you about a lot of things. It tells you the high and low of the temperature. So the maximum temperature of that day could be 24 and the minimum temperature could be 16. It also tells you about the humidity, the pressure, here we are talking of the atmospheric pressure, the visibility, wind, dew point, the UV index or the solar radiation, and the moon phase. We'll study about each of them in particular and we'll understand that how these different types of elements influence the weather of a particular place at a particular time. So the factors that influence weather are temperature, atmospheric pressure, humidity, wind, precipitation, and clouds. So how do each influence or affect weather is what we need to understand. So before moving on, let us have a look at this. So did you know that there's a science of studying the weather conditions? So this science of studying weather condition is known as meteorology. So meteorology is nothing but the scientific study of weather conditions, right? We in the very beginning looked at the different weather conditions in the last video where we talked about a sunny day, a cloudy day, a foggy day. So all these different weather conditions are actually studied, they are scientifically studied, and this study is known as meteorology. Now, so to study this particular science, a special person is required. This special person is a meteorologist. So, a person who studies and records weather conditions is known as a meteorologist, right? So, why is his job so important? Why is this person at all so important? So, navigation, cropping activities, fishing activities, military actions, expeditions, so many important things all are decided on the basis of the weather conditions. So, this person who studies the weather conditions also plays a very important role in determining whether performing these activities would actually be possible. Whether going on an expedition would actually be safe in a thunderstorm or would it be safer when there is no thunderstorm or where there is no cloud. So, you see that his job is very, very important. So, we understood that the study of weather conditions is meteorology and the person who studies and records weather condition is a meteorologist. So before moving on, help me fill in the blanks. A person who studies and records weather conditions is known as a physiologist, a meteorologist, or an economist. Yes, you already have guessed it right. He is known as a meteorologist. So, a person who studies and records weather condition is a meteorologist. So, now that we have understood who is a meteorologist, what is meteorology, let's have a look at the meteorological station or the weather station. This is a facility on land or on sea, and it has various weather instruments and equipments that helps in determining different weather conditions, right? So in these meteorological stations, there are different types of sensors that helps in reading or recording the solar radiation, wind speed and direction, leaf wetness, temperature, humidity, rainfall, soil temperature and moisture. So many things are recorded and studied in a meteorological station. So if you have a good look of the meteorological station, these are the different sensors. So you see in this image, here this pan-like structure reads and records the solar radiation. Then we have an instrument here that tells us about the leaf wetness. Then we also have an instrument to measure the soil temperature and the soil moisture. Then we have a special instrument here that we'll be learning about later that reads and records rainfall. Then we have another special instrument here that determines the air temperature and humidity. And finally, we have an instrument here that records or helps us understand the wind speed and the direction of the wind. So you see, there are so many things or so many sensors in the meteorological station that helps us understand what is the weather of a particular area at a particular time. So, besides the meteorological station or the weather station, other things that help us collect weather data are a weather balloon, a weather satellite in space, and a weather radar. So let us take a look at the snapshot again. The most prominent numerical on the snapshot, if you see, is this 20 degree. So what does this indicate? This tells us about the temperature of that particular time in which this snapshot was taken. So it says that the temperature then was 20 degree Celsius. Celsius is the unit of temperature taken here in this snapshot. So temperature is one of the most important elements while studying weather. It is one of the most important factors that influence the weather condition of a particular area. So let's learn more about temperature. So, in summer season, or rather on any day, you must have noticed that during daytime, nearly 12 noon, the temperatures are very high as compared to evening or during night. Why so? Because 12 noon is a time when we experience direct rays of the sun, and that is why it is so hot. But in the evening, when the sun is setting, the temperatures decrease and we feel a little cooler. And at night, the temperatures are so relaxing that we can have a good night's sleep. So temperature is very important in influencing our day-to-day lifestyle. But how do we define temperature? So the temperature of the atmosphere can be defined as the degree of hotness and coldness of air. As I just mentioned, it influences our everyday lifestyle. So temperature is the degree of hotness and coldness of the air. So now if I ask you, how are we measuring this temperature? In your mind, you must have already visioned an ordinary thermometer. But let me tell you, this ordinary thermometer cannot be used to measure the temperature of the atmosphere. This ordinary thermometer is used to measure the temperature of our body, right? So now what do we use to measure the temperature of the atmosphere? Well, there's a special instrument. And that is this 6's maximum and minimum thermometer. Well, yes, 6's maximum and minimum thermometer is used to measure the atmosphere's temperature. So now how does it work? This thermometer has a minimum cold arm and a maximum hot arm. So during daytime at around 1 to 3 p.m. in the afternoon, it measures the maximum temperature of the day. And in the morning between 4 a.m. to 6 a.m., it measures the minimum temperature of the day, right? This is how it tells us the maximum and minimum temperature of a particular day. But in a meteorological station, the 6's maximum and minimum thermometer is not kept in open. It is kept in the Stevenson screen. So what is the Stevenson screen? Well, it keeps the thermometer in shade. So it acts like a shade so that the thermometer does not get influenced by the direct heat or rainfall, right? So to prevent direct influence from heat and rainfall, it is kept in the Stevenson screen that acts as a shade, and it is done during the time of observation or measurement. So when the temperature is being recorded, it is made sure that the thermometer is kept in the Stevenson screen. Now take a look at this particular image. This tells you about something very interesting. It tells you about the isothermal lines. Now what exactly is an isothermal line? Well, these are imaginary lines that joins two or more places having same temperature at sea level at the same time. So this particular image is of January 2021, and the time when it was recorded, it is 12:16 p.m. So isothermal lines or isotherms are these lines on the map that joins places having the same temperature at sea level at the same time, right? So this helps us understand that places that have same temperatures must be going through the same weather condition, right? So for example, here Australia, and here South America's northern part is under the same isothermal line. So what does it say? This only means that these regions that fall under this particular deep orange isothermal line is having temperatures around 25 degrees Celsius, right? So isotherms are nothing but imaginary lines that simply tells us about places, or it joins places that have same temperature at the same time at sea level. So in this video, we learnt about the different elements of factors that influence weather. We also learned that there's a science that studies weather conditions and is known as meteorology. And the person who studies weather conditions and records the different weather conditions is a meteorologist. We also learned that in a meteorological station or in a weather station, there are different sensors that records and studies different weather conditions. We further learnt about the most important factor that influences weather, and that is temperature. We learnt that temperature is the degree of hotness and coldness of the air, and it can be measured using a 6's maximum and minimum thermometer, and it is kept in a Stevenson screen to provide shade and protect it from direct influence by heat and rainfall. We further learnt about isotherms or isothermal lines that joins places having same temperature at the same time. In the next video, we'll be learning about other elements of weather. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel and hit the bell icon. You can also register for free at DeltaStep.com or download the DeltaStep app to learn one-to-one with our amazing teachers, or to get access to all our 5,000 plus amazing videos as per your school syllabus. Master each topic with our adaptive practice technology. Get million plus questions with step-by-step solutions and unlimited mock test. Get all your doubts resolved instantly. Learn via games and win amazing prizes like PlayStations and iPads. So at DeltaStep, learning is not just fun and easy, it is rewarding too. So register for free now.